Okay, this is the brains of the transmission. It's called the valve body. This controls all the hydraulic pressures and where it's going to. This has been modified for a trans brake. So what it does is it puts it in first gear and reverse at the same time. And it locks everything up. The car won't move, the back tires won't spin. Everything sits there. You hold the button down and it stays on trans brake until you release the button. When you release the button, reverse disengages, first gear stays engaged, and the car launches. This is what controls that. And there's different types of valve bodies. This is the factory cast iron unit that was modified for a trans brake. It's not a super fast release. They make ones that release really fast called dual dumps. This is just a single dump, but it's gonna work fine for what I'm doing for now. So this is the brains. First, we're gonna put these guys in. Can you see these?
Yeah.
All right, let's go over here. You have to be careful when you put these in because you don't want to scratch anything. So we're going to put these guides in, the same things I use to guide in the oil pump, the front pump assembly. So first these guys go in, this way I don't tear the gasket. And right after that, we have to put this valve in. This is called a scheduling valve. This is going to go in where the old vacuum modulator went in, which is right here, this port. The vacuum modulator would control the line pressure so the transmission didn't shift very harsh. So it was a nice, easy shift. Without the vacuum modulator, it would shift at full boost pressure or front pump pressure all the time, and it's not good for the street anyway. But for racing, you need all the pressure all the time. So I'm gonna put a little of this blue assembly glue on here to hold this spring in so it doesn't fall out. I'm gonna slide this in. This is the valve. When you move your shift lever, this is what moves in and out and controls what gear it's gonna be in, reverse, neutral, park, first, second, whatever, depending on how many speeds you have. The new transmissions, they don't use a valve like this any longer. They use solenoids, and it's all done electronically, which is a whole different world.
A whole different world.
So this guy goes back here. We're going to put this in after this is installed.
Gooby.
This is the tube that transfers the fluid from the valve body over here to this servo piston to engage the band to turn on first gear. There we go. This is it. This little tube slides into here. All right, now we're going to set this baby down on. Have to hold this up, but we have to line up this.
Perfectly.
This has to line up with that. That has to line up with that. Everything's got to line up at the same time. Just like you need 10 hands to do this. This valve body weighs like 15 pounds. It's cast iron, so it's a little heavier. They do make aluminum ones. I prefer the cast iron ones because the aluminum ones, they get scarred up. If any debris or something happens in the transmission, that aluminum gets scarred immediately. And it can cause feedback problems or feeding problems or fluids going where it shouldn't be going. But the cast iron's way tougher. We got to get this guy to settle down nice. There she goes. Put this tube in at the same time. Wow. Bring it over here, Thomas, so you can see. See that valve move?
Yeah.
That's what's putting it in and out of the gears. And this little rooster deal, this is the detent that holds it in
So
the
that thing, like,
specific gear. And make sure this guy's down all the way. Yep, it's down,
what's
tight.
the red stuff?
Now, let me get that little,
It's like-
plastic hammer. I want to make sure that that tube is sitting in plastic rubber.
So what? The
I'm
rubber.
gonna use a rubber piece. Yeah.
Why is it red on the top? Like, why is there like the red?
It's just red rubber.
Oh.
I'm gonna tap this guy in just to make sure she's down all the way. I see some guys use a claw hammer on this thing and bash them in, splatting out the tube. No, you can't do that. See, it just went down. Now it's seated. Nice and easy. Patience.
It's the key.
This is not a race to do this. Okay. Now, I'm going to use these bolts. These aren't the bolts, but this is the size that I need. It came with this type of bolt in it, but because this transmission was in water, the heads of the bolts were rusty because this is the lowest part. So I'm going to use these instead. They're the exact same length, and they have to be the exact same length because they're screwing into aluminum, and it's old aluminum, and I don't want to put it in any more stress than it needs to be. I'll use the longer ones up front. Right, Tommy?
Yeah. Where's Turbo?
Where's Turbo?
I don't know.
Find Turbo.
Probably somewhere.
Turbo, where are you? He's probably sitting by the door.
Oh yeah, he's over
He
there.
wants to go in to eat.
He's a big boy.
All he wants to do is eat. We're going to take out these alignment studs now. Put these guys in. Then these all need to be torqued up. This is the little spring that puts tension on this parking pawl, on this detent lever. So this way you can feel it when you shift it. You can feel it what gear it's in. Now today everything's controlled with electronics. They don't have any of this. So when you move the shifter in your car, you really think you're putting it in gear, moving these valves? No, you're not. You're just turning a solenoid on and off, or different solenoids on and off. So it's kind of like disingenuous. It's not a real connection. Nothing's really connected any longer. 1/4-inch socket with the right socket. These are 1/2-inch. Toolbox locked itself.
How does it lock itself?
Just from jarring it around. Snug them up. Everything gets done by hand. You don't want to use any type of impact gun on this. So that's when mistakes happen. Have the wrong setting, whatever, you strip the thing out. Now these bolts in red are all torqued up to factory specs. The ones in yellow are the bolts needed to remove the valve body. So it just makes it visual easier so you don't take bolts that are out that aren't necessary to come out.
Okay.
Got it? Got it. Okay. See how that works? Nice. Sounds nice.
Ring doorbell's so annoying.
I know.
Rings when a fly goes by.
Don't know what it is, who it is, or what it is.
Trolling.
Who's out there? Probably the deer.
Yeah, we have a ton of deer here.
They're eating everything. They're eating holly trees. They're not supposed to eat holly trees.
Doesn't that make
This
sense?
thing is called a rooster. This guy here, the detent. This plate, oh, I put that bolt in, I shouldn't have. This needs to come out. I was going too fast. This is the guide that holds the detent in place so it doesn't slide out. There we go. This guy goes in. And this guy will go in. This keeps this guide in place so the shifter doesn't slide back and forth and disengage it from the main valve. Right? You got that? Yeah.
Boom.
Here is the Allen socket. I don't have the right bolts. I have to order them, but I'm not gonna wait for bolts at this point. I'll just use these Allen screws because they're the exact same and they're grade 5 hardened bolts, harder bolts. And then we'll torque this up. The torque wrench. What are you dying over there?
Yeah.
Oh, Tommy has his braces now, so
Yeah, they hurt like hell.
he has to hide from the thunderstorms. He's like a lightning rod.
And I have a rod expander. I'm full of metal.
Now this guy should slide right in. There you go. This is the control solenoid. There's a button on the steering wheel that turns this guy on and off. So when this comes on, it holds it in. When you release the button, this pops back out. So this screws right into here. There's a little tiny gasket on here, very thin. See it? Real thin gasket. This goes in. Keeps that valve in place. It's kind of a heavy solenoid. You have to check and make sure this guy doesn't loosen up.
How do you check that?
When you do your regular maintenance, I change the fluid on these things every, I don't know, probably about every 25, 40 passes, something like that. Depends on how long I'm on the brake for. When you have the trans brake on, the transmission builds a stupid amount of heat in the torque converter. So I look at the fluid color. If the fluid looks like it's getting darker, then I'll change the fluid. So anytime you have
Oh,
the
the
car in
light
the
came
air-
back on.
What's that?
The light came back on.
Oh, because I'm moving around. This is a thin wrench,
That's
so it fits in here. Don't use pliers on this thing, whatever you do, or vice grips or whatever, because you'll ruin it. This is an old Quadrajet carburetor wrench. I've had this thing like 40 years. Who makes it? Snap-on? Yeah, of course, it's a Snap-on. This has to get snugged up.
no.
Click. Click. That was my torque wrench going on. Click.
Yeah.
Now those other bolts are 15 foot-pounds.
15 foot?
15 feet-pounds. Get a half-inch socket here for this guy. It's a
Oh, there's
3/8
different
drive.
colors. Like,
Yeah, those guys are different colors, yeah.
that's cool.
That's Harbor Freight. Actually, it's nice having different colors because
Then you can
they're
know which one.
easy to find. Yeah, like I know that this guy is 13 millimeters. It's the
nice
same
and
as
hard.
half-inch. Yeah. Oh, it's over there.
Where?
The socket's over here on this.
Oh.
On this gun. I like Snap-on tools, but I'm not really happy with these old. They're really hard to read the increments on these, especially when the lights are on. They reflect.
So it's easier to read them like when it's
The
dimmer.
new torque wrenches are digital, so it makes life a lot easier. Let me make sure. Now it's torqued up to 15. I gotta get the right size Allen socket for this guy. That's not the right one.
Oh my god, chill, Ring doorbell. Chill.
Pause it.